Take a look at this, a developing situation in Sherwood where crews are cleaning up after a car drove into the Casa Mexicana restaurant just a few hours ago. Right now, details are limited, but we're told the manager of the restaurant was hit by the car and taken to the hospital. We'll update you on his condition when we learn more. Meanwhile, a pair of groups are taking education leaders to court. One of those lawsuits here in Arkansas, another across the country. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Brooke Buckner. Let's start with the one in Russellville, where former high school biology teacher Joshua Duncan is suing, saying he was fired over a Facebook post on Charlie Kirk's death. The lawsuit filed by the ACLU says the district violated the First Amendment by firing him for a personal after-hours post, and adds he later deleted the post and apologized. He's asking the court to rule his firing unconstitutional and says he wants his job back. An advocacy group called the Project on Predatory Student Lending is claiming the Department of Education may not be canceling certain federal student loans as promised. They claim the DOE promised to cancel billions of dollars in loans for about 1.5 million people under the Borrower Defense to Repayment program. And now they want to see the data proving that promise. In Maumelle, residents at a senior living facility are racing against time to find a new place to call home following news of the facility's closure. Tonight, THV 11's Maya Ellison hears from those impacted and learns what members of the community are doing to help.
A shock is how residents describe the news after learning that the doors of the chapter senior facility here in Maumelle will close its doors for good.
Well, I feel neglected.
John Mack says he had no idea the place he's called home for the past 5 months would soon have to be vacated.
That's the concern I have, not getting extra help or the help to find a place. And then at the end of the month, who cares? They don't care.
Mack says residents were given about 30 days notice that the facility would close, leaving him with questions about what comes next.
I asked one lady, I said, why didn't they give us more notice? 30-day notice or more, 60 or 90? She goes, because we didn't have to.
In a notice provided to residents, Chapters Living CEO Daniel Stricker describes the closure as, quote, voluntary. That notice also outlines a relocation and transition plan for residents. More information was shared during a town hall on Wednesday morning. Now, I attempted to attend that meeting but was told to leave the property because it was, quote, closed to the public. Mack says he was inside.
The meeting was scheduled right out of the blue.
Stephen Bright, a Maumelle resident and candidate for the Arkansas House of Representatives, also says he was not allowed to attend the meeting. He says after learning about the closure, he wanted to see what could be done to help.
We'll assess what the needs are, and we'll come together as a community and not let these residents down.
Now, throughout the day, city officials, community members, and other senior care providers stopped by to offer support and resources to residents.
And I let them know about our facility. I build relationships with them so we can help the resident.
But while those efforts continue, for Mack, his biggest concern is what happens after July 31st.
We're elderly people. Some are self-sufficient, and they're totally on their own. So those people are going to have a much harder time finding a place than others with relatives.
In Maumelle, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Maya, thank you. Again, officials say all residents have been notified of the facility's planned closure. July 31st is expected to be its last day of operation.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for southeastern areas of Saline County and also parts of Grant County. It's this cell right here packed with a lot of lightning. Certainly want to be indoors as this cell makes its way through your neighborhood. It includes Alexander, Ben, also Sardis. The main concerns with this cell is not just the lightning, but if it collapses, it may produce winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour and also the potential of maybe some dime to quarter size hail. That's the only storm happening in the metro at this time. There was one right over Lake Maumelle. That looks like it's weakening, but there will be potential. There could be an isolated pop-up shower thunderstorm anywhere in the metro until around sunset. More storms here, Hot Spring County, northern areas of Clark County, and also Montgomery County. These are drifting their way down to the south and southeast, and also some more storms happening into parts of southeast Arkansas, where another severe thunderstorm warning has been issued in Chico County. But look at all the dry real estate. So not everybody is seeing rain and thunder out there this evening, and this is playing a huge part in the temperature department. It's 75 in Hot Springs, but it's 89 in Arkadelphia, and it feels like 102 in Pine Bluff. Pop-up shower thunderstorm, still a possibility on your Thursday, but it's more about the heat and humidity. More on that forecast coming up.
Thank you, Nathan. Safety is top of mind for officials tonight after a 7-year-old was shot and killed in Pulaski County last night. Here's a look at the man accused, Michael Deaver. He's being charged with manslaughter and endangering the welfare of a minor. Police are still investigating the incident. And over in East Arkansas, a teenage boy is dead after a firework incident in Hughes over the weekend. The family of 14-year-old Jackson Smith saying he was mishandling fireworks when tragedy hit, and they're now using his story as a cautious reminder.
To know Jackson was to love him. If you're around him, you were laughing, smiling, doing everything.
They should have supervision when they're, under the age of 18 at least. They're dangerous. If they don't know how to properly use them, they're dangerous.
A GoFundMe has been set up where the family is looking to raise $13,000 to help with any needed expenses. And starting later this week, state and local police are reminding you that speeding slows you down. They will step up patrol as part of the national campaign that hopes to reduce speeding-related crashes and save lives. In 2024, 23% of traffic deaths were speeding-related here in Arkansas. Officials are hoping to lower that number. And that's good information for anybody who may be traveling to Razorback Stadium this weekend as Post Malone and Jelly Roll take the stage this Saturday night. The concert is the first at Razorback Stadium since Garth Brooks back in 2022. And police there say with tens of thousands of fans expected, they'll have officers stationed at busy intersections with assistance from 5 or 6 agencies.
The thing is that it's in the football stadium, so 6 or 7 times a year we have events, football games there anyway, so it won't be much different from our perspective, from a security perspective.
University says one thing fans can expect to be different this weekend is the setup inside Razorback Stadium with the stage and seating on top of the field. The stage will also feature an extended midfield catwalk, and just a reminder, tickets for the show are still on sale. Well, it's no secret that fighting fires is a more dangerous job than most, and adding to that risk is an increased chance of certain cancers. Tonight, THV11's Carter Thweet shows us how Pine Bluff is tackling the problem head-on.
Run into burning buildings, work in hazardous areas and things such as that. So that just really puts their levels at unfortunately a higher rate.
Especially when it comes to cancer in the esophagus. Firefighters have a 62% higher chance of getting this particular cancer, and 80% of patients die within 5 years, often due to a late diagnosis.
If they need that treatment, they can identify it early on and get what they need to be healthy for themselves and their families.
That's what New York-based Lucid Diagnostics is offering Pine Bluff firefighters this week. Heber Springs-based surgeon Dan Lister has spent years advocating for this pre-screening method.
The precursor, which is Barrett's esophagus, and we have a highly effective treatment of getting rid of that. The problem is most people don't go get screened.
That's what this screening does. A capsule is swallowed and is used to detect precancer. Dr. Lister's team can then determine how to remove that before it becomes cancer.
We're trying to take this group of servants to the community, and because of their increased risk, go out and test them.
John Worthen with the Pine Bluff Fire Department says he appreciates it, and the screened firefighters have too.
Everyone involved said that it's pretty quick and painless, and they want to get tested not only for themselves but for their families as well.
In Pine Bluff, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Carter. According to Lucid Diagnostics, the test is mostly for those who have at least 3 out of a list of 8 risk factors. Generally, white men aged 50 and older are at the highest risk, especially depending on their job and family history. Meanwhile, tonight in a THV 11 Investigates, we continue looking into the controversy surrounding the Fountain Lake Volunteer Fire Department, as citizens have now filed complaints with the Arkansas Ethics Commission, and a new lawsuit was filed this week over ignored Freedom of Information Act requests.
You can't shortcut the fire department. Right. You start shortcutting, people die.
All this comes after former volunteer firefighters challenged the board's leadership while demanding transparency into the department's operations as they continue to lose volunteers. We'll have more on what these investigations tell tonight at 10. But still to come here at 6, what the administration is saying about gas prices as the ceasefire with Iran seems to be over. Plus, speaking of gas, Buc-ee's is opening in just a few weeks, and the excitement is building. How they're getting ready for opening day after the break.
And the storm fuel we have in place out there this afternoon, thanks to all the heat and humidity, has produced a severe thunderstorm for southeastern areas of Saline County. That includes Bauxite and also Bryan. This is a nasty cell, lots of lightning, also potential of some damaging wind gusts, 50 to 60 miles per hour, and some hail. Dime to quarter size is a possibility. This cell is drifting its way down to the southeast. I'll have a look at radar around the rest of the region and have your weekend forecast coming up.